A very controversial thing, but I would like to say on this regard that there is a philosophy of Jainism which is called Anekantavada, where you have to look at different angles for a particular thing. The truth is one, but whoever is the viewer, from that point of view, he is the correct one. So this one-sidedness or multi-sidedness. So with regards to that, even the aspirants who are protesting and others are also who are against this null and void, both are correct in their view. And with
your success. तो सबसे पहले तो सर tell us about your journey, UPSC का जो journey रहा in 2020 तो आपने APCS clear किया and then UPSC, तो उसका जो journey है आपका जो यहाँ तक का journey उसको थोड़ा सा share करें.
Okay, first I would like to thank you for the media fraternity for calling me here. I would like to introduce myself. My name is Dr.Austin Tayeng. My parents are Mr.Rajeet Tayeng and Mrs. Onam Pertin Tayeng. I belong from Kiyit village in Siang district. I did my schooling from JNB Pasigat and then from JNB actually. Then my graduation from 2012 to 18 in MBBS from Grand Medical College Mumbai. After that I joined as a medical officer in the year 2018 till 2022. I was working as a medical officer in a primary health center in Borgoli. After that I started regarding with this UPSC journey. I started preparing after I joined my as a medical officer. I think it was in the year 2019 around January 2019 I started preparation for the UPSC after joining as a medical officer, and I was lucky enough that in my first attempt I could clear that mains, and I did get my interview in 2020 also, but I couldn't clear that because of I think around it was 14 or 15 marks back in 2020. After that COVID came for 2 years. I was busy as a doctor since I was a doctor, so I was busy in COVID 20 to 21. I couldn't clear the prelims, and luckily I was in 2022. I cleared the prelims. Along with that, in between, I gave the APCS exam also. This one APPSC, and I qualified in APCS batch 2022. And so I joined in February last year 2022. By that time, I had already given my no, I haven't given it. The prelims, I gave my prelims after joining as a circle officer in Yingkiong. Then after that, mains was last September 2022, and interview this year, interview was on March 2, 2023. And lucky enough, I got selected this year. This was my second interview and fourth attempt. If somebody knows, then my optional was anthropology, and so right now I am working as a circle officer.
Sir, since you were working on the field as a doctor and even your optional subject was nothing related to human work, so how tough was it to study and how did you cope up with your work and your studies?
Yeah, exactly. When you work as a official, like I was working as a doctor. Along with that, there was COVID came in between 20 and 21. The first wave, second wave, there was lack of manpower during that period. It was very hard to cope up with it. So I think because of COVID only, I couldn't clear that time the prelims back in 20 and 21 also. And optional, so usually what we do is we try to study optional after clearing prelims only. If I don't clear prelims also, I usually don't try to attempt that only. So I don't try to prepare the optional. So it's very hectic, like मुश्किल हो जाता है ये क्या बोलते दोनों को बैलेंस करना, वर्क लाइफ बैलेंस. लकी इनफ हो गया कि यहाँ सिविल सर्विस में CO बन गया, तो सर्कल ऑफिसर मिलने के बाद लाइक माय सीनियर्स एंड अदर्स वर वेरी हेल्पफुल दैट दे वर लाइक कोऑर्डिनेटिंग द वर्कलोड फॉर मी वाज minimal as possible for them, and I had like training in between also, so most of the nights I were free, so I could study more during that period.
Is there any secret mantra to your success, because so many people attempt UPSC or APSC every year but very few pass on, right? So is there any secret mantra?
Yeah, exactly. Like people, what they say, like the persistence is required. Since you won't believe, like from 20 to 22 till this interview, I used to at least early morning 1 hour I used to read the Hindu, and then at night I used to study current affairs from Inside Science and the daily current affairs from Insights IS and Forum IS also in the evening. So usually 2 hours daily study was there, along with the subjects also is a different thing. This was a regular affair. So for 2.5 years I had studied continuously every day. So it's a required thing for UPSC. It's a long journey, like 1.5 year. It takes a 1.5 year for the whole process to be completed. So you have to study every night, at least an hour.
So, did you take any coaching or just self-studies for the UPSC?
Yeah, exactly. With regarding to coaching, I would like to say that also. Me personally, I took just 2 months of crash course after my I cleared APCS prelims. So for mains, I took a crash course for 2 months. Other than that, I had never taken any other courses. So it was all self-study. Back in 2019, when I cleared this UPSC prelims and then mains, I gave mains. I realized that if there is a good guide, you usually tend to be in the right direction, because I wasted like back in 2019 when I gave the mains, there were so many topics which I had no idea that they were part of the course also when giving the mains. So I think like coaching, like regarding coaching, I think like so many people usually now also messages me like whether should we do coaching this there and all. So for 3 years I did self study and wasted my years, like which topic is there, which topic is not. It's a very like rigorous thing also. So if somebody doesn't explain you literally, it's very hard to know. So that topic was part of this paper also, the general studies paper in the mains. So I would like, yeah, I haven't done any coaching with regard to that, just 2 months and crash course. Other than I've done all self study. And the other thing would be like if somebody like if later on if somebody listens, I would suggest that it's better to do coaching only. If you can afford to do coaching, I would suggest that do coaching in a good institute like which gives a 1 year tenure that coaching thing and all. So it's better if you do 1 year coaching, because like 2-3 months they will never complete. The courses, they will never be completed in time in 2-3 months. So at least take a 1 year or 10-month course. That would be very helpful, because I literally wasted 3 years just knowing, like in my first attempt also, because I didn't know so many topics were part of the GS general studies. Like I couldn't attempt so many questions back then. So this year, since I had done the 2 months crash course, then the teachers at least guided me that this is these all are parts of the mains thing. So at least study this there also. So and then back this year 2022, I did better self study this year.
So we know that UPSC is one of the toughest examinations in the country, and also sitting in the interview, the final interview, we want to know more about that interview. What happened? कैसे था?
Usually the interview is usually done in this UPSC Bhavan, New Delhi. There are also I think 1 chairman is there, and there are 4 members are there. They are very cordial. Like when you see in this Facebook and all, they usually write, they'll ask a riddle and whether this is the right answer. They never ask that question. It's all current affairs based, general questions only, which are related to the current thing, like news which is going on politically, economically in the country, and like any international issues, or if there are international issues propping up, that the questions are very cordial, and the chairman and every people are very cordial in the interviews also. Like it's not like what we see in the Facebook, like they will ask this riddle, that riddle. It's never that.
What was the toughest question? If you can share it with us.
Okay.
Final
In my interview during that, the toughest question would be this one. They asked me related to a medical field, but since I have already left medical for 1 year back, so it was hard for me to recall. They were asking me about something related to heart stents and all, whether it comes under something act or not.
There's one question I would like to ask. Many of the people who appear in UPSC are from medical or from engineering background, so they get criticized a lot because engineering and medical are very good profession. Why do they need to come to UPSC? What would be your explanation?
Regarding that, what I will say, like I had also done my part in the COVID also. In the first wave, second wave, I was working as a doctor in a primary health center, and after that also, this knowledge which I have gained as a doctor profession, it will never be lost with me. if I become in future, if I'm lucky enough, if I come to Arunachal on deputation or somewhere anything, if I become a secretary of the health department, I would be the perfect person because I have already worked as a medical profession for 4 years and then a circle officer for 1.5 years, and so I would know the ground realities and everything. So I think the experience you gain with that related and moreover this civil services is a generalized work, so every generalist are required. So even someone from humanities or commerce are also required, or even from engineers are also required because it's a generalist subject. They usually all the secretaries secretaries are from different backgrounds, and they undertake they overlook departments which are very different, like industries, some to rumor they can be a fisheries. So you have to be a generalist only. So even a doctor is required. That's what I feel.
So sir, any final messages or any word of advice to all the youngsters who are preparing for APC, APCS as well as for UPSC? Because a lot of some people have given up on their dreams since the fiasco has started.
Yes.
So any message?
Regarding this, I think that since the commission is going to be formed soon, so maybe soon there will be examination notification will come out. But the final message I would like to say is, like, if you can afford coaching, kindly do coaching. That's what I will say. If you can't, but you can also clear it, because since I have done self-studies also, with self-studies I have almost cleared APCS and this, but UPSC and other thing, just 2 months of pressure then. But with self-study also you can do it, but it just takes a time. So you take a good guide also, you take a good senior, anyone, good guide, senior, any, like even a coaching teacher who are very helpful. Even if you don't go there in their coaching also, they usually are very helpful. If you say, sir, kindly can you guide me once this step, that would be my take.
Since you are doing you are first you cleared APSC first and then you went to UPSC. So how similar are these two fields? Because the syllabus are almost similar.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. The syllabus is like 100% similar. Even the prelims questions, a pattern, and even the course is also very similar. Even the pattern of the mains question which are coming nowadays, the one which I attempted is very similar. So I would say, like, if you go for UPSC coaching, because then automatically you will be prepared for APCS.
Since you have been an APSC officer, so many of the FEC and the APSC fiasco, many blames are coming toward APSC, those who have passed in the previous years. What would you like to say about it? Because there were some people, some organizations were saying that some of the officers should not be officers and everyone should be stripped out of their post. New exams.
Are you asking regarding do I support null and void or that? Okay, it's a very controversial thing, but I would like to say on this regard that there is a philosophy of Jainism which is called Anekantavada, where you have to look at different angles for a particular thing. The truth is one, but whoever is the viewer, from that point of view, he is the correct one. So this one-sidedness or multi-sidedness. So with regards to that, even the aspirants who are protesting and others are also who are against this null and void, both are correct in their view. And with me personally, since I'm working in this field, I'm already working as a civil service officer. So obviously I will be inclined towards that view. Like I will support that. Hopefully it doesn't get null and void. But that's the thing. Like there is no correct solution to this. That who is right, who is wrong, I can't say that. But because since the truth is very different. The truth is that there has been corruption and there has been like paper, what do we call, leakage or selling? Paper selling or leakage both. So I empathize with the aspirants also. There are so many friends also of mine who personally ask me. I usually support them also physically. I have done physically, monetarily, and even with tips also, some insider information also. But other than that, I usually support them because I know what they have gone through. Because I have so many relatives who are jobless, who have missed the exams from 1, 2, or 3 marks. Because they are also correct in their side. The job is who are working also, they are also correct in their side. That would be my answer for that.
You will be an IS officer soon. So what are you looking forward to when this proud moment for Arunachal?
Okay, in that regard, I would like to clarify one thing that UPSC, there are so many services. So I don't know, the allocation has not been done. Most probably, like IS, it's an improbability, but you never know, right? So most probably I won't be an IAS, but maybe I can be. But according to the ranking, it depends. They allocate according to ranking. It will be done within a month or next month. So I can never say that, but yeah, I will be the central services. I will join central services. Obviously, it can be an Indian Revenue Service, Indian Police Service, Indian Foreign Service, or Indian Audit Service.
What are you looking forward to? Are you excited?
Yeah, I am very excited. Like the day the result came, like there were so many calls and messages. Like literally, I have never had that much of call and messages in a year. In a day, I had that many calls and messages. So I'm very like, I was like for 2-3 days I was literally like in, like I felt like I was in a heaven.
Who will you give this credit? What stuff that you did Chinese?
This credit I would like to give this to my parents and my big brother. My big brother, he also topped his like engineering examination back in 2014. So he was like, you only got rank 29 in civil services and this in medical also I was just rank 51. So he was like, I topped, what are you doing this, and that. It helped me, I motivated a lot. And my mother was very confident on me. Like she always used to pray every day for me, for my this I be in good health and my exams are good in any other way. And my father is very strict in that regard. So my mother, you won't believe this, you can ask any of my APCS 2022 friends. Before giving mains also, my friends used to ask me like, will you clear this exam? And I was like, yeah, I will clear this exam, because since my mother said that, she was very confident on me, yeah, you will clear, because last time since you had no idea on so many topics, so since you missed by 14 marks, you can easily recover that. And I was lucky enough that I could easily recover like 38 marks this year. So I qualified this year. So my friends, they used to ask me before result also, I used to say, yeah, I will usually get, because I have improved a lot from since last UPSC mains, because back then I didn't know so many topics were included in the syllabus also. So I was like confident enough. Before result also, my mom was like, yeah, you will get, don't be any don't have any problem, yeah, tension mat lo, okay.